Hello, fabulous superstar Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of July 2025. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. The only business class I teach once a year starts this month at the world-renowned Kepler College. Learn more. Sign up now. Links below. This month is huge, and I know I say that from time to time, if not all the time, because any month has the potential to be really big. But what we have this month is fully 3 planets going retro in the first half of the month, and 1 really big planet changing signs. This is all setting the stage for what's called the grand sextile. We'll start to get a taste of it before the month is even out. And it is going to be next month's full moon that highlights the grand sextile that much more. But it is next year in July that we are going to be that much more fully in an energy that in this year we just get a little bit of a taste of. So there's lots to talk about here. But do remember this, because I'm talking grand sextile or great sextile as some call it, this is an energy that has a measure of blessing, but also action and proactivity to it. And given how consequential some of these energies are for you specifically, well, you'll have a moment of being able to decide how to best use them to your advantage. So let's start with right out of the gate. As we start the month on the 1st of July, Mercury goes into shadow, and then on the 18th officially goes retrograde. It isn't going to be until August 11 that Mercury goes direct, leaves shadow at the end of August. I'll talk about August next month, of course, but all of that is to say, really, the larger season begins now. And whatever's happening at the very beginning of this month, you will likely see it very differently once we get to the middle of August and Mercury returns to where it is as this month begins. The entirety of the Mercury retrograde season is taking place at the foundation of your chart, having to do with your past, your living situation, your family of origin, and your parents in particular, where that applies. This is about your sense of rootedness, including your sense of feeling at home within you, your body, your skin, and all of that is up for consideration. So here's the thing, running into people from your childhood, your long ago past, that becomes very possible with this Mercury retrograde season for you, but it is not necessarily the time to make big life-changing choices in regard to these particular areas I just mentioned. Now, if you have to do it, you have to trust your life, right? Like sometimes people get evicted or something. I'm not saying that's happening to you at all. This is actually pretty easy. Mercury retrograde season, all things being equal, it dances continually in harmony with Venus, your ruling planet, and that can be really nice. An overall theme of this Mercury retrograde season is also if you work from home or with homes, this can be a time of prosperity or opportunities you thought were gone might come back around in some way. But for all that, if you can help it and if you have a choice, you might not want to undertake a big matter like signing papers to buy or to sell or to have a new roommate come in and so on, because things tend to look really different once it is that Mercury goes direct, but still is walking the same path that it was retrograde over previously. That's called the direct shadow. And it is the last half of August that whatever's happening now this month and the entirety of this month, well, it just might look really different. 2 planets in the sign before yours go retro on the 4th and on the 13th, respectively. Neptune, then Saturn, both go retro. Now, Neptune going retro is a lot stirring within you on levels of soul, psyche, spirit. It would be a really good idea to make sure you're getting enough rest under this energy. But with this, there tends to be a sense of not necessarily feeling emotionally at a place of equilibrium. And so if you know that you're given to, some emotional highs and lows, like some of us are who are sensitive souls, then you do want to be mindful of this energy and how it might be playing out for you, because this can suggest a need to heighten your self-care as you navigate, especially just around the days as the retrograde begins. But it's that Saturn retrograde that can feel rather weighted. And again, there might just be a need to get more rest. A lot can work itself out in the energetic space with these energies. Now, there might also be closing karmic ties, ending karmic chapters kind of energy here. But if that's the case, that itself is a blessing because in some way you're ready to move forward. But I think a much more likely scenario is energetically, you might on the one hand feel tired, like you don't know how much more you have to give, but then you feel also really driven, like you have a lot more you want to do. And then finding that balance ultimately is just going to come by finding a balance with rest. On the 7th of the month, Uranus changes signs. This is huge. We're getting a little taste of this in November. Uranus will retrograde back into your sign until we enter into 2026, at which time Uranus will leave your sign, not to return for about 8 decades to come. So here we are. As Uranus leaves your sign, pay attention to how different you might feel, because I think for some Taurians, it's going to feel rather stark how quickly it is that you feel different. Uranus in your sign can have you vibrating a little bit higher, feeling a sense that life can change a lot very quickly. You're leaping forward in life very quickly. But having Uranus leave your sign allows you some time to evaluate how far you've come and how much you've changed, especially since 2018 when we had Uranus first enter your sign. For all that, Uranus is moving into a part of the sky for you that has to do with the money you earn, money you spend, self-love, self-esteem. It is about aligning your prosperity with what feels like a calling for you, what feels like an authentic voice for you, aligning something within yourself that feels like it's taking your understanding of prosperity to another level where you put money in its right place. Outside of that, self-love, self-esteem, well, these matters might get a whole new perspective and a big leap forward. Now, Uranus is the shake up and the wake up, as I like to call it, which means for some out there, it might feel like finances shake up a little bit, but that is ultimately to get you to the place where you're able to align your prosperity in different, much more authentic ways. Self-love, that too, you release some barriers there. That might be a great gift of this time. July 12 brings with it this month's full moon, and this full moon is happening in fellow Earth sign Capricorn, speaking in supreme harmony with Mars and the other fellow Earth sign Virgo. And that means you're able to access this energy that much more readily and that much more to your advantage. Having this very powerful full moon does suggest your world opens up and you're energized by it. This is a part of the sky that has to do with long distance travel, immigration, citizenship, higher learning, legal matters, as well as the personal beliefs that help you to make sense of the world and guide your life. And so this is one of those times and one of those moments where you just might feel where it is that you really want it to be. Well, it reveals itself to you that much more fully. The opportunities show up. But also very possible with this as well is that the universe shows you where it is that maybe you're no longer meant to be. And that's okay as well. Wherever it is, whether it is a space within you and your understanding of the world and your beliefs, or whether it has more to do with what's happening with the legal matter, what's happening with your journey towards higher education, for example, well, this can be a time when the opportunity to leap fast and make gains certainly is there in a way that brings excitement and a genuine sense of how you can cultivate your own hope. July 24th brings a very important new moon, and this new moon is essentially going to activate the great sextile of next year. It takes place in July, but it is this year. Instead of Jupiter, it's the new moon. And this new moon is happening at the foundation of your chart that has to do with home, the past, your living situation, your family of origin. Does that sound familiar? Yes, because that's exactly where Mercury will be retrograde at that point. With new moons normally bringing with them new opportunities and new possibilities. That certainly could be there. But because Mercury is retrograde, you might not fully realize what's involved in an opportunity related to a home-related matter. Now, just know, sometimes Mercury goes direct and it's even better than you thought it was going to be. Sometimes Mercury goes direct and you realize, okay, that thing that started, maybe that's not the way, or maybe that doesn't feel right, or maybe it involves these other layers you hadn't taken into consideration. And from there, you get to decide what it is that you might want to do next. So pace yourself as you navigate this time. I feel like there are these very powerful energies here that speak profoundly to you to understanding what home is differently. So what do we have here? We have a new moon. It is opposite Pluto. There's a lot of intensity in the air at this time. It is speaking in supreme harmony with Saturn and Neptune. Those two planets are appearing to stand still in the sky. They are at the height of their power. And that brings in a measure of responsibility, but also wanting to make some dream real. There's a hope there that might border on fantasy. And then we also get a harmonious connection to Uranus. So again, home-based businesses working from homes might be very fortunate, might bring with them surprise, quick-moving opportunity. But outside of that, this could be understanding your past differently in a way that helps you to really open yourself to a greater sense of self-value than you knew before. Regardless, though, in many ways, your past is what will surprise you. And freedom from the past might be a great gift under the light of this new moon. Now, where it comes to matters of love, the 4th of July is a really important day astrologically, not only because Neptune goes retro, but also because we're going to have Venus meeting Uranus at the very end of your sign. And this is a light bulb moment if there ever was one. This is seeing things very differently in the context of love, if there ever was some possibilities, some potential there. Wherever you are in love, you just might have a whole new understanding of it very quickly. And this is energy that either will accelerate things forward or it'll feel as if it's not going forward from here at all. Either really would be okay, because whatever happens, it's like the final bit of freedom you need just before Uranus steps out of your sign, albeit for a brief few months. The key to remember with these energies is out of nowhere, by surprise. This is an energy of extremes, which means that either things can go really, really great or they fall apart. So for those of you open to meeting someone new, connecting with someone where very quickly they show you something about them and you're like, oh boy, okay, I got to take a step back. This ain't it. And you're walking away. Or it is that you meet someone new and it feels like things really accelerate very quickly moving forward. You know, I like to say, pace yourself and be yourself. You might want to remember that at this time, because this represents an important moment for you in the context of understanding what you're actually wanting in love and how to align with it. For those of you just starting to date someone, you are going to see this person very differently. And remember, it really is about you having an insight, you finding understanding within yourself really is key now. So for some of you, it is going to be one of these moments where you feel yourself accelerate forward very quickly with this person. You're feeling the love. They do something, it surprises you, it delights you. But for others, it's going to feel like you have an insight, you have an understanding, and you want nothing more to do with this person. It is a very all or nothing energy, but regardless of whatever it is, it really is for the best. And I say that because it's Uranus. Uranus aligns you with higher calling, and in this case, that's in love. And for those of you in an established bond, look, the overwhelming majority, there'll be a surprise. It might just be a romantic surprise, doesn't go as planned. You had plans, they fall apart, something like that. However, it is possible that this feels more consequential than that. And where it is that you've had doubts as to whether or not you're in the right relationship for you, I think you will gain such powerful insights so quickly that you will understand what that feeling is really about. And your answers just might surprise you. And these answers might take you to a very all or nothing moment. Either you let go of your resistance and you're all in, or you decide that you really are ready to go a whole other way. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say there's a lot going on here, right? But that very powerful new moon that happens in the second half of the month, I think is very important, because it is that new moon that brings with it an insight into what might feel that much more significant, what might advance that much more once it is that we get to July of next year, July of 2026. And so now here we are. And we get this new moon at the foundation of your chart, and you're about to understand your roots very differently, your past or your family, all of it in an instant ultimately brings a perception that allows positive change to occur and brand new chapters where they might in some cases feel very long overdue. Thank you for watching. Check out Nadiya Shah Superstars or thefutureismagical.com for expanded exclusive horoscopes for as low as just $3 a month with choose your membership rate. Higher tiers get you class passes, consultations, and so much more. Learn more, sign up now at thefutureismagical.com or NadiyashahSuperstars.com. Thank you again for watching. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.